Geneva, New York lies at the foot of Seneca Lake, one of the most beautiful lakes in the Finger Lakes region. Some say that Geneva, New York was named after Geneva, Switzerland. Others say it was named by happenstance because Seneca, written in cursive, is strikingly similar to Geneva. But whatever its origin, Geneva, Switzerland, and its named twin, Geneva, New York, have a great deal in common. Looking up the lake, Geneva, Switzerland lies on the right side of Lake Geneva. Looking up the lake, Geneva, New York lies on the right side of Seneca Lake. Both Seneca Lake and Lake Geneva were formed by glaciers thousands of years ago. Both are surrounded by vineyards, producing award-winning wines in climates tempered by their lakes, which attract tourists from all over the world. Geneva, Switzerland is the home of the University of Geneva, a public research university. Geneva, New York is the home of Hobart and William Smith Colleges and the Cornell University Agricultural Experiment Station. Since 1890, Geneva, Switzerland has been identified by a spectacular fountain at the end of a long stone pier. With its hotels and commercial buildings in the background, the jet of water, or jet d'eau, has become the symbol or brand for the city. The pier shelters docks for the visitors' boats, and there's a beautiful walkway along the lake. Geneva, New York also has a long stone pier which protects visitors' boats from the wind and waves. It too has a beautiful walkway leading along the shore into a state park. It has but a single hotel directly on the lake, and its commercial buildings are set back, allowing vistas of the lake to be seen for several miles from the adjacent highway. The logo for Geneva, New York is an artistic sailboat as seen on a windy day, with the hotel and commercial buildings of a city in the background. The sailboat's sails have an uncanny resemblance to a jet d'eau on a windy day. Our fountain's base might easily be crafted to resemble the sailboat's hull. Such a fountain in Geneva, New York might be called the Seneca Jet d'eau. It would be both synergistic and complementary to the city's brand.
For years, Geneva New Yorkers have dreamed of erecting a Seneca Jet d'eau. At least 2 members of City Council traveled to Switzerland to see its jet d'eau and returned with ideas of building a similar one at the end of our long pier in front of the Ramada Inn.
When I was there, there's a big hotel right on the corner, on the north corner of the lake, and I was walking along there, and the lake and the jet d'eau just came roaring up in the middle of my walk. I had never seen it before, and it was just amazing. It's so high, and there was a wind blowing, and it was causing the droplets from the jet d'eau to drift sort of like a sail and sort of disappear into. It was sort of like a curtain in the wind. You know, it was very, very beautiful.
Recent grants have allowed for the Geneva, New York lakefront to be revitalized and developed.
One of the great things about Geneva is the city and the state have been reinvesting in developing the lakefront, making it more accessible to the public, but it's not very built up. They've really made it an intentional effort to keep a lot of green space and open space, but just make that space more welcoming and accessible. And I think the pier is there, it would fit right in.
The 140-acre Seneca Lake State Park and the adjacent marinas along the Seneca-Cayuga branch of the Erie Canal have grown in popularity for tourists who shop and dine in Geneva and along the wine trail for which the Finger Lakes region has become famous. The Seneca Jet d'eau will follow in the spirit of other spectacular fountains, like those in Geneva, Switzerland, St. Louis, Seoul, and Abu Dhabi.
Everybody thinks of the Arch of St. Louis, they think of the Arch. Well, jet d'eau would be like that in Geneva. People who had come through, they would look and they would say, oh, wow, and they'd remember and tell all their friends about it.
You know, you could light it up different colors if you wanted to coincide with certain events or holidays. And I don't see why it wouldn't do anything but enhance the attraction for tourists.
It is our good fortune that much of the infrastructure has already been built. Geneva, New York already has a spectacular setting in the center of the Finger Lakes region. It already has a solid stone refurbished pier. It has a beautiful walkway with benches and bicycle paths. There are already parking and hotel accommodations in a wide range of great restaurants. There's plenty of access for visitor boating and mooring in shallow water. We already have tour guides, touring buses and limos, sightseeing boats, and the promise of a tour train. There is access for local theater and college cultural events. And we have a local pump manufacturer with an international reputation and fountain expertise.
Seneca Jet Limited is a 501c3 community service project founded in 2016. Its sole purpose is to promote and build a magnificent fountain at the end of the long stone pier in Geneva, New York. A fountain similar to the famous Jet d'eau in our Takao, or named twin city, Geneva, Switzerland. Establishing a tax-exempt public service organization and producing this introductory video are only the first steps in this quest. Member-directed committees will be able to gather knowledge and assess alternative fountains from both technical and economic perspectives. We hope that you will become a member of the Seneca Jet. Thank you.